What's happening, folks? Welcome back to Celtic Fans TV. It's time for your Twitter reactions to Celtic 1, Rangers 1 at Celtic Park. Before we get to them, I have to tell you about sponsors OneFootball. The OneFootball app is the best football app on the planet. I tell you that all the time. You can get pre-match stats, line-up notifications as soon as the teams are announced on match days. You can get goal alerts from around the world. You can keep up to date with league tables from around the world. You can add widgets to your home screen to keep up to date with Celtic's next fixture, who it's against, what the kick-off time is, all of that sort of stuff. And OneFootball have just agreed a deal to stream the Scottish Premiership in, I think, 160 countries. So if you live in Canada, France, and I forget the rest of the list, I can maybe link it up in the description of this video as well. You can watch the games for free. I think there's going to be one selected game from each round for the rest of the season, and it started with the game today. So you can download the OneFootball app by clicking the link in the description of this video. It's free wherever you get your apps, and it's a great way for you to support the channel. We'll start today with Patrick Murphy, 89. Played well for about 60 minutes, and then the intensity dropped. Kenny had a poor game, the corner that led to their goal, and he was far too negative in general, wouldn't bomb forward. It's clear that Kennedy has taken Neil Lennon's approach to subs. In the end, it just fizzled out, just like the game against Dundee United. I thought today we were the better team. I don't think we... Listen, I think if you were scoring it in points like around a boxing match, you'd maybe have called it 10-8 or 10-9 to us. We did have plenty of chances. We started the game quite tentatively. I would have liked us to press a wee bit more intensely in the opening 10-15 minutes of the game. I thought we gave Rangers a wee bit too much space in the ball. Should have been 2 or 3 yards closer to them. But after the goal, and it's a great goal, well worked down the left-hand side, in behind Balogun, Edouard in behind Balogun, we gave him problems all day. Even when Patterson came on, it was down the left-hand side. We were focusing a lot of our attacks. That's a big change. A noticeable change since Kennedy took over and we went back to the 4-2-3-1 shape. That Edouard is drifting out to the left-hand side a lot. I think Laxalt has looked better in recent games and again today. The link-up between him, McGregor and Edouard down the left at times was really good. We get the goal and then we do start to take control. We're much closer to the Rangers. We're pressing them. We go on to create another 2 or 3 chances and we should go 2 up. But again, the story of the season is that we don't put the chances away. We're not ruthless enough, we're not clinical enough, and we don't make the right decisions. And that, allied to the poor defending, particularly at set pieces, has just came back to bite us time and time again this season. MO, the negativity on here is over the top. We can play better, but we were by far the better team against a side that has ran away with the league title. There are positives we can take forward. The fact that their goalie was man of the match today should say something to people. I think to touch on that, I know a lot of people have just had it with this season, and I accept that today wasn't good enough. We wanted the victory today. A draw is a better result for Rangers than it is for us. But I do think we played relatively well. But as I say, that doesn't get you 3 points. What gets you 3 points is putting the chances away and defending properly at set pieces. Alan McGregor did have 3 or 4 good saves today. Contrast that to the first derby at Celtic Park, where we didn't muster a shot on target. We just lacked, as I say, that ruthlessness. We haven't had it all season. The decision making in the final third, I'm even thinking about a chance for Callum McGregor in the first half coming in off the left hand side. He's just got to lift his head up and cut it back for Edouard. Almost certain to be a goal. Edouard obviously has the penalty claim. Probably just not a penalty, but Willie Collum would have gave it anywhere else in the park, because he gave free kicks all over the park all day for similar things where players were making tackles but there wasn't really any contact and guys were just flopping to the ground and Billy Collum was giving free kicks for it. So that was strange. But listen, I think we can't be overjoyed today. We didn't win the game, we wanted to win it. And still some of the themes that have been there all season haven't gone away. I don't think it was the worst performance ever. It did peter out towards the end of the game. And ultimately, I think the reason people are being so negative is because of how the season's unfolded, and there's not really much we can do about that. There's no getting away from it. There's nothing we can do to change that. It's hard to be objective at the end of the season where we've lost the league title mathematically by March. So that's just the way it's going to be for now until the end of the season. Alex O'Donnell, better team by far. I'd say John Joe Kenny completely switches off, giving away the corner and then not marking Morelos for the goal. Shocking performance by him, but great play from El Yunusi and Edouard. Not overall, not the best result, but here's hoping for better Ibrox. Here's hoping for better Ibrox. I think the link-up play between El Yunusi and Edouard, as Alex points out, was very, very good today. We haven't seen enough of these performances from El Yunusi in these games, in these derby games, so it was good to get one from him. He scored a really good header. It was great cross from Edouard as well. I think Edouard just lacked the goal. I mean, again, that ruthlessness at times, he should have had it. A lot of people want him to just smash the ball as soon as it comes to him with that penalty claim that he ends up having. Perhaps he could have made better decisions in a few situations today, Edouard, but it's just not how the whole team has been. We haven't been ruthless enough with the chances, as I keep saying. John Joe Kenny, I agree, was really, really poor. I've kind of skirted round about saying this recently since he's come to the club. I see a couple of people really excited by him and thinking he's really good and we should maybe bring him in permanently. I think he's been very poor. I think he's been bang average so far, and he was very, very, very poor today. He puts in one half decent ball in the second half that Edouard should gamble and get on the end of. But I think other than that, he didn't really attack. He didn't really take his man on a lot of the time. And I think at that time in the game where we've got the goal, we're controlling it, we're creating chances, he gifts Rangers away back into it by giving away an inexplicable corner. I've no idea what is going through his mind when he blasts the ball back towards Scott Bain. It's not even close enough to Scott Bain for him to even keep it in. He just blasts it back towards his own byline. I've got no idea what he's thinking. And then he switches off ball watching at the corner, and Morelos sneaks in and scores. So really, really poor. And at that time in the game, we were dominant. Rangers weren't really in it, and we handed them away back in again, as we've seen time and time again this season. Chris Q, flattered to deceive, had enough of the play, but our inability to be clinical and defend at times is woeful. A sign of a dreadful season which can't end quick enough. Aye, that is the sentiment that a lot of people have. I totally understand it. I want the season to be over and done with as well. We have to start afresh. I think you look at that team today and before the game, you're thinking, who are the guys that we can rely on here to really go and win the game for us? There isn't a lot of them. Edouard has done it before time and time again in these games. El Yunusi hadn't until today. He still didn't win the game for us, but it was a much better performance for El Yunusi based on his previous showings in these derbies. Christie's never really done it in these games. Brown's aging. You could maybe say McGregor and Aya. Laxalt was good today, but beforehand you can never rely on him to be excellent week in and week out. Kenny I've touched on. Stephen Welsh is really young. You've got Scott Bain in goals. You're talking 5 or 6 of the players there who you look at and think, I'm not really sure they're at the level required for us to go and win this game comfortably. I think that's a sign of where the squad is at. We know there's going to be a lot of changes in the summer, on the pitch, off the pitch, in the squad. A lot of player turnover, but we need that, and we need to start afresh. We need to totally rejuvenate this Celtic squad and get back to what it is to be Celtic and to play like Celtic. The depths that we've fallen to in such a short space of time is just remarkable. That's 4 derbies without a win. We haven't beaten Rangers since the 8th of December 2019, and even that day we were by far second best. On another day we would have lost it. So we've really got to address this. The decline has been so sharp, so quickly, and it is because we made a really poor decision in terms of managerial appointment. So that means we have to get this managerial appointment correct in the summer, do things properly, recruit properly, because we need to get it right. We Shug 72, column plus poor finishing equals draw. Aye, listen, I hate Willie Collum. He's a poor referee. He's always been a poor referee. There's just no getting away from it. As I say, some of the free kicks he gave today are absolutely baffling. It's like you can't wait to give a free kick. As soon as there's a tackle, as soon as there's any sort of contact outside the box, he's dying to give a free kick. He's blew his whistle before a player's even hit the deck. And then you have a situation like Edwards where, okay, he's trying to buy the penalty, but at the end of the day, he's about to score a goal. Barisic is diving in out of control at him. Even if there's no contact, it totally changes the way Edwards going to be able to step to the side and finish. And I think, as I say, if that happened in the middle of the pitch, Willie Collum would just have gave a free kick and thought nothing of it. He wouldn't have booked Edward for diving. But there you go. We'll finish tonight on Michael McDonald. January 2010 is the last time Celtic went 3 consecutive home derbies without winning. This team needs completely gutted from top to bottom, and only a Rodgers-esque calibre of manager being appointed will suffice. That's a really good, concise point to end on. I think Michael's absolutely correct there. I've just talked about the change in the squad this summer. A lot of turnover in terms of players and the changes off the park. But the one thing we have to do to rejuvenate this squad and to come back refreshed next season is to get a manager, appoint a manager that everyone can get behind. The players, the fans, everyone associated with the club can get behind a manager and really move in the right direction. That's what we've got to do. You see it when Rodgers came in, and I don't want to constantly harp back to that, but it was a massive sea change in how everything at the club was going. The players immediately believed in what he was trying to do. The fans bought into it, and that's what we have to replicate this summer. We have to all push in the one direction next season, because, as I say, there's so much change that's going to happen on and off the park, and everyone has to be united. And the best way to do that is for the board to appoint a high calibre manager. It's the only way forward. That's it for today. Like the video, comment with your own thoughts below. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. It's obviously the international break coming up. We are going to have a few videos next week. We'll be talking about a potential director of football coming in, and maybe any potential new managers if we get linked with some. We'll just have to wait and see. That's it. We'll see you next week. Cheers.